Hello, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing for you my current beauty favourites, and I also have a few that I was not so impressed with. So I'm throwing a couple of flops in there, but they're like flops with a twist, which I'll get into. But I'm very excited to be filming this video. I have not filmed a beauty favourite since March, and I normally try and do them every 3 months, and it's now September, so I kind of missed basically a whole video, but I think it's because I really haven't been mixing up my beauty products very much because of lockdown and coronavirus. I've been wearing a lot less makeup, buying a lot less makeup. The main lot of makeup that I bought, like the main kind of bulk of products that I bought this year, was for my Charlotte Tilbury testing video, and a lot of these products that I'm going to talk about are Charlotte Tilbury. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because I have done a whole video dedicated to that, but obviously I spent a lot of my makeup budget this year on Charlotte Tilbury, so I haven't been able to buy a whole lot of other stuff, but there are definitely some products in here which I have tried more recently, and they are winners. But when I was collating all the products that I wanted to talk about in this video, I went back and looked at what I had included in my last March favourites, and actually a lot of the products that I thought I hadn't mentioned before I had spoken about in that video. So time is going at a very weird pace at the moment, and yeah, basically, just so you know, all of the products that I spoke about in March, I'm pretty much still using them, but there are a few additions, so let's get into it. The first one, which is just an all-out flop, I would not recommend this to anyone, possibly because I got the wrong shade, but it is the Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector. Now, granted, this is in the shade medium to deep, but I did a lot of research before buying this, and the fair shade was sold out for many months. It was on my Cult Beauty, like, email me when it's back in stock list for about 2 months, I want to say, and it just wasn't coming back into stock. So I'm really struggling at the moment with like under eye bags, and I've been wanting to try out correctors, and so many people rave about this. I did a lot of research, I looked at a lot of videos, a lot of swatches, a lot of different skin tones wearing this particular shade, the darker shade, and it seemed to look like it would work, especially as it looked very similar to my NYX under eye concealer, which I use for correcting, which they've now discontinued. It looks like it is actually a very similar shade. The problem that I have with this is that it just slides off, like it just doesn't stay on my face. Whatever I put on top of it, it's like it almost makes my under eye bags look worse. Not because it's not correcting when I first put it on, I think it does do that a little bit, but it is very orange and it's very hard to blend, and you have to use literally the smallest amount that you can imagine. Go smaller than that because you need a tiny amount for it to even like blend in properly because it's so emollient. Then whatever concealer that I put on top of this just seems to completely blend away all of the work that I've just done, and it's basically as if I didn't wear corrector at all. It almost like picks up whatever concealer I put on top and like blends it all around my eyes, but not actually where I want it to go. I think because of the consistency is so like creamy and it's almost like oily, it's so emollient. But yeah, I was really disappointed with it. I will swatch it for you just so you can see. It's definitely a cream, but it has that kind of orange undertone, which, as I say, it is marketed for medium to deep skin tones, but because that is a pretty similar shade to my NYX Dark Circle Concealer, which I loved, I thought it would work. It doesn't, and yeah, I'm not even gonna attempt at trying the fair version just because I really didn't like the formula at all, so would not recommend that. That was a flop. I have a couple of Charlotte Tilbury products. So this one is a flop just because I think it's not worth the money that it costs to buy it. It is a blush. This is in the shade Love Glow. They obviously have quite a lot of different blushes. I just don't think the formula is any better than good drugstore blushes that I've tried. Certainly Milani Luminoso is just as good as this. It's a very similar shade as well. It's like a peachy kind of, got a luminescence to it, and yeah, I was just pretty disappointed with that. So that's a flop from me. And also the Charlotte Tilbury Light Wonder. This one I absolutely love. I honestly have got the most use out of it than any foundation I've tried in a very long time. I really enjoy the formula. However, the shade range is terrible. And Charlotte Tilbury is typically quite an inclusive brand in terms of shade ranges. I know that this was like their first foundation that they did come out with, so whether they just haven't expanded the shade range, or they may have expanded it from when they first launched it, but it's really not great. They have quite a few fair and medium shades, but they have only, I think, one shade for like dark skin tones. The rest are like kind of medium to deep, and then they have one dark. This is a low coverage kind of tinted moisturizer vibe, so you definitely don't need too many shades in it to cover all your bases. It would definitely be better for them to include a more diverse shade range, like maybe like decrease a couple of the light ones and move them over to the dark area, you know. Although I really love the formula, I am already looking for an alternative to this after this runs out, because I will not be repurchasing it. I will still buy from Charlotte Tilbury. There are other Charlotte Tilbury products that I love and will mention in a minute in my favorites, but just this particular shade range I wasn't impressed with, and I wouldn't rebuy that product. These are the Harmony Lip and Cheek sticks, and this is in the shade Sheer Gerbera. Again, no complaints about the formula. I get a lot of use out of this blush. It is just a really nice, creamy, just a pretty kind of summer pink blush. Really beautiful formula, very creamy, very easy to blend. Got a nice magnetic closure, but again, the shade range, just not diverse enough. They have, I think, about 3 shades of their blushes in that formula, which none of them run that deep, and then they have 1 bronzer, 1 highlight shade, both for very light skin tones. Obviously all of these things were purchased before I was being more conscious about shade ranges and diversity and brands and all of that, so yeah, it's just like a heads up, that particular one, bit of a flop for me. I'm really sorry, my voice is so croaky and like deep sounding because I've had like a cold sore throat thing this week, and it's just affected my voice. Like, I don't feel ill, but my voice is just sounding a bit deep. And the final kind of flop that I wanted to mention is, again, I really like the formula of this. It's one of my favorite lip products that I have tried this year, but it is from Jouer, and Jouer I just don't think I feel comfortable buying from anymore, because if you follow the Pull Up for Change Instagram account that was created by the brand owner and founder of Uoma Beauty, she was asking all brands, but it started with beauty brands, to basically disclose the number and proportion and data that they had of people of colour and black people working in their organisations. And Jouer was a brand that had absolutely no black representation in their organisation. So I don't really feel comfortable until I can see that they are making real changes to diversify their workplace. I don't feel comfortable supporting the brand, so that's why this is a flop from me, although I do really love the shade. It is their Sheer Pigment lip gloss in the shade Oxford Street. They did say in that post where they disclosed that they didn't have any black representation that they would be making steps to change that, so I really hope that they do, and I will be keeping an eye out and letting you guys know if I do feel comfortable to buy from them again. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Like, I'm sure there are brands that I'm not aware of that I may buy from, but please do let me know. Like, I'm always open to hearing you guys and your thoughts on this, like whether I should be buying from that particular brand or not. So please do leave constructive criticism down below, because I'm always open to reading those kinds of comments and just educating myself and knowing a little bit more about the brands that I'm buying from. So yeah, now let's get on to the favorites. So a few skincare favorites that I have really been enjoying. I don't think I've mentioned any of these so far. I have found a dupe for my favorite Dermalogica moisturizer. I'm so excited. I've been trying out a lot of affordable alternatives to Dermalogica this year, and this by far is like easily just as good as their skin smoothing cream, which is my favorite moisturizer from Dermalogica. I've loved it for a couple of years now. Before that, I was on their Active Moist moisturizer, which is a little bit lighter weight, but this is from The Ordinary, and this is their Natural Moisturizing Factors Plus HA. This is the large version. I did try the small 30ml size and I ran through that completely, and then I bought the large size. This is £6. This is 100 milliliters of product for £6, and it's a great moisturizer. It doesn't break me out. It moisturizes just how I want it to moisturize. Like, it's fragrance free. It doesn't have any weird ingredients in there. You know how sometimes like the consistency of moisturizers can be like either really slippery and light, or like way too heavy? Like, this is just the perfect everyday middle weight moisturizer is how I would describe it. It's like if you just want a basic moisturizer that you know is not going to break you out and is extremely affordable, then look no further. This is brilliant. I did also want to mention these face halo pads. These are basically a way to remove your makeup. So if you use an oil cleanser or a micellar water or something to remove your makeup before going in with the second step of your cleansing routine, this is to replace that first step. So these are really good. It's something to do with the material they are made out of. I think will just like lift off all your makeup, and it really does work. It works for my mascara as well. It doesn't make my eyes too sore. It doesn't work for all mascaras. Some mascaras are a bit more stubborn, and I do need to like go in with a second cleanse on my mascara. But if it's a very light mascara and it's not too stubborn to get off with normal makeup remover, I think this will work great. I was really impressed with this. You just run it under water and then rub it all over your face. You can throw them in the washing machine and they come out good as new. I really love these, and although it is a bit of an investment, because I think it's about 17 or 18 pounds for a pack of 3 of these, you can obviously throw them in the washing machine. You're going to be saving a lot of money overall on makeup remover. So I don't feel the need to now buy a cleansing oil. I used up my Face Theory cleansing oil, and I'm not going to buy another cleansing oil because I have these instead. So really impressed with those. And then The Ordinary Hyaluronic Acid 2% plus B5. I've been using this for a few weeks now and I have been very impressed. Like, my skin was dehydrated, like, well, I don't know if it was dehydrated or just dry, but basically it needed some extra hydration and extra plumping up. And this, I honestly didn't think I was going to see a difference with this, but within a couple of days of using this, and I just use it in the evenings, within a couple of days I felt like my skin was more plump to touch. So like, you can just tell a difference in the kind of bounciness of your skin when you use this. So I will use this and then I will throw on the moisturizer over the top of it, and I just think it's really good. And then I've also been using, I absolutely love this toner. This is the Indie Lee Lotion COQ10, and this is probably the most hydrating mist toner that I have ever used. You can literally almost use it in place of a moisturizer. Like, when I've come out the shower and I'm going downstairs and I'm not going to be like doing my evening skincare routine, or I don't need to do like my evening skincare routine straight away if I've had like a shower earlier in the day or whatever it is, I will actually just spray my face with this, and I feel like my face has got enough hydration to last until I do my evening skincare routine. I just think it's one of the most hydrating mist, and it really feels like it's doing something. It's like adding a layer of moisture over the top of your face, whereas a lot of moisturizing sprays I feel like are just like I'm spraying water on my face. I don't really feel like they have any lasting impact. So I really love this. This is actually my second bottle of this. You can get a larger bottle, but I find that when I buy large sprays I never go through them all because I forget about them. So if I get this small one, then I definitely finish it all. So yeah, really impressed with that. Really love it. The makeup products that I want to talk about. So another mist, this is the only setting mist. It's not really a setting mist, but this is the only makeup mist that I've used, I mean, all year. This is the only one that I own at the moment. This is the Pixi Glow Mist. I do get PR from Pixi, but I bought this myself. I have always kind of heard about this, and a lot of people were saying that it was a really good product for like adding glow to your skin and making your makeup look a lot more fresh and yeah, just glowy basically. I had tried the Hydrating Milky Mist a couple of years ago and I liked it, but I didn't love it. I felt like it was very fragranced, and it didn't, again, it was kind of like that thing where I just feel like it didn't really do much. It added a nice kind of layer of hydration when you first spray it on, but I didn't feel like it had any lasting hydration benefits. With this one, I really do notice the difference that it gives my makeup. So I spray it at the end or before if I feel like I need an extra layer of hydration. I'll spray it mainly at the end of my makeup though, just to kind of finish everything off, and it really does help melt my makeup into my skin and just kind of smooths everything over, makes everything look a lot more glowy, and I really enjoy this. This is probably the closest thing to MAC Fix Plus that I've found in terms of the glow factor and the way it feels on your skin when you spray it. That's a cruelty-free alternative that I've found, so I'm really impressed with that. I will definitely be buying another one. The only complaint that I have is that something happened to the sprayer, the spray nozzle, when I traveled with it last weekend, so it's now like squirting out unevenly, and that's really annoying. So I think I'm gonna have to decant it into another bottle, but that is that. Okay, so in terms of base products, I really want to mention the Uoma Beauty foundation double take sculpt and strobe stick. It's like a contour highlight stick, and the Woke concealer. So I've been using these three products for probably a couple of months now. So this is a matte foundation, but it just still gives my skin a really nice luminosity. It makes my skin look like skin. It doesn't make it look dry and matte. So I don't normally like matte foundations, but this is kind of marketed as your skin, like the foundation will kind of adapt to your skin, and whatever shade category you're in, they have formulated it to kind of work with the skin concerns that most commonly come up for those types of skin. So if you're very fair, which I am, I think it's more for like sensitive skin, and then like one shade darker might be for dry skin, and like they're all for like different concerns. And I really do find that this works so well with my skin type. It just looks like my skin but better, and it's very flawless. It dries down to the touch, so you don't feel like, you know, it's sliding off your face the whole day. It lasts a long time. I honestly think this is one of the best foundations in terms of like full coverage foundations that I've tried in a very long time. It reminds me a lot of the NARS Sheer Glow that I used to love before I went cruelty free a long time ago, but I've never found something that's quite compares to that, and I think this is the closest thing I've found. It's really gorgeous. I prefer how it applies with a sponge to a brush though, so just something to note if you are using it and you can't quite get it to look perfect. Try using it with a sponge. I don't think you will regret it. Okay, in terms of the concealer, I really like this. I do think it's a little bit fuller coverage than like some of the concealers I like to wear, because I do like to wear concealer when I'm not wearing foundation, and I don't really feel like I can wear this because I think you do kind of see it sitting on the skin. However, using conjunction with this, oh my god, it's perfect. Like, they work really well together, and I mean, they are made for each other, so that kind of makes sense that they work well together. But I really recommend it. It's like the perfect amount of coverage and hydration. It gives that kind of perfected look, and if you blend it out with your fingers, you're not going to get any of that like creasing or like settling that could happen if you just use a brush. So just have to know how to use it. But it's really beautiful concealer, and especially like this is the concealer that I use when I'm using this foundation, because it's just like the best combination. And then again, this is the bronzer that I've been using every single day as well. So this is the contour stick. Again, all of these are in the lightest, yeah, white pearl category, so perfect for my skin tone. I'm wearing it today as well. I'm not wearing the highlight, but I did use this in my last Get Ready With Me video, and I do think that this is a really, really lovely highlight. I just have to use it with my fingers. It doesn't really get the best look if you draw it on because it is more pink toned. It's just not as flattering on my skin tone. I kind of wish they had made it more sheer or more champagne, just for my personal taste. Side note, today, if you are wondering, I am wearing the RMS highlight, which I actually spoke about in my last favorites video. I will just mention quickly the sponge that I use because this is a new sponge that I've recently discovered. This is the Dose of Colors sponge. They do a few different sizes, I think, of this now, but this is just the original one. And this is such a good sponge. This is like just as good as a beauty blender. I've never found a sponge that is quite as good as a beauty blender, but this definitely is. It's very soft, it's very easy to blend. It still has a nice shape, even though it's got this flat bottom compared to the egg shape of the beauty blender. Absolutely perfect, and it's a couple pounds cheaper as well than the beauty blender. So in terms of mascara, yeah, there's a couple that I want to mention. The first is the one that I'm wearing today. This is actually something that I have never worn on my channel or even really desired to wear. This is from Redhead Revolution, and it is a brown mascara. So Redhead Revolution is a new brand. They did send this mascara and a couple of other products to me as well to try out. I still need to test out the other products a bit more, but this I have incorporated into my routine, and I am wearing it today. So I'm not wearing black mascara today, I'm wearing brown mascara. They have a couple different shades of this. This is in the shade Genuine Ginger. I haven't tried the other shade. I think it's more of an auburn shade, but I just thought this would be the closest to my natural kind of lashes. This is darker than my natural lashes, thankfully, because that is the one thing that I find. Sometimes when I have my natural lashes, I can look quite sick, like I can look quite unwell because they are so fair. And then when I wear black mascara, sometimes it can just look like it's a bit too much, in contrast if I'm wearing a very light makeup day. So this is absolutely perfect. It's a perfect in between. I've never felt like brown mascara looked right on me. Maybe it was just because of the undertones of it, or I just felt like it didn't really do anything for my lashes, and it didn't really add any volume or anything like that. This I do find adds a tiny bit of volume, but it just looks so natural. And if you're wearing just a little bit of mascara and you are a ginger, I really, really recommend this. I think they are definitely available in the US. You can pay for shipping to the UK at the moment, but I think they are going to be introducing a UK warehouse so that the shipping is, you don't have to pay customs fees and all of that. So the other mascara I did want to mention, which I think is just a good all-round mascara if you want a lengthening mascara that's very affordable. I think this is about £5. This is the e.l.f. Keep Your Curl mascara. The only annoying thing about this is that you can only buy it via the e.l.f. website. They don't sell it on any of the other stockists of e.l.f. in the UK. I don't know why. This is actually like expired now, so I'm not using it anymore, but I did like use it for months and months, and I really, really love it. It's just very lengthening and defining, but adds enough volume to still make you look like you're kind of done for the evening if you want that. And then for eyeshadow, I just have a couple of Charlotte Tilbury favorites that I wanted to mention. I have spoken about these quite a lot, so I won't go into detail, but the first one is the Pillow Talk palette of pops. I am really into shimmery shades all over the lid. That's just my thing now. I'm not really into matte. I'm not really into putting anything on my crease because I can't be bothered to do the different looks and have the different brushes and blah, 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 blah. So the best way that I like to wear this is literally by taking them on my finger, patting them all over the lid and layering them up until I get the combination that I like. It's really, really simple and it's not very exciting, but you honestly can't go wrong by just like layering these with your finger. That you do get a better payoff with your finger when you use these shades, I think. They just don't work the same with a brush. But if you like that very shimmery, very simple, but kind of like soft glam look, then I think you will really like that. But just bear in mind, if you like mattes, it doesn't have any mattes in it. It's all like really shimmery, glittery shades. The other one which I'm wearing today is the Eyes to Mesmerize cream eyeshadow, and this is in the shade Rose Gold. This is honestly what I've been wearing most of the time if I wear eyeshadow, because it's just so easy. I literally just dab my finger in it, put it all over my lid, press, 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 press until it's all nice and blended, and I am good to go. That is it. That's all I wear. I don't put anything on the bottom lash. I'm not wearing anything on my bottom lashes today, like other than mascara. I just can't be bothered at the moment. I think because of coronavirus, I just really can't be bothered doing detailed eyeshadow looks. I'm just like a one and done kind of gal. I was kind of like that before coronavirus as well, but I feel like coronavirus has accentuated my can't be botheredness in terms of makeup. Then a few lip products that I did want to mention. So I think this is a repeat from my last favorites video, but I did want to mention it really, really quickly. And this is the Charlotte Tilbury lipstick in Bitch Perfect. This is like the perfect peachy nude if you want a nice creamy nude lipstick. I've been getting a lot of use out of that over the summer. And then the one I'm wearing today, which I've also used a few times on camera, I think, is JK Magic. And this is in their slightly upgraded packaging, which is also refillable. And this, again, I mean, it's based on JK Rowling, so of course it's going to like suit the redheads, but this is one of my favorite, almost my perfect nude lipstick. I don't want to say it's my perfect nude lipstick because that's a big statement to say, but I think it might be. And then the lip gloss I wanted to mention in my favorites, which I think is such a good find. Like, I was so happy when I found this and tried it out, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing, because this just transforms any lipstick color that you have on underneath. So this is the Makeup Revolution, what are these called, Shimmer Bombs, I think? Yeah, Shimmer Bombs, and this is in the shade Light Beam. Like, it literally looks white when you put it on your hand, but it just transforms any lipstick you have into the most reflective, wet looking, gorgeous thing. I'm wearing it over the top of the JK Magic now, and yeah, I'm in love. I'm in love with that. I've been wearing it over pretty much every single lipstick that I have. What I really love about it is that it doesn't really alter the shade. It doesn't make the shade any paler. It just adds that really wet dimension because it does have a lot of glitter to it, but it doesn't feel or look really glittery. It just looks really juicy and shimmery. So really, really impressed with that, and it's really affordable as well. It's totally a dupe for the Fenty Gloss Bombs, like totally copied the packaging and everything, but I haven't tried the Fenty ones, but I mean, you could just see from what they're trying to go for, and they have quite a few different shades. But I do have to say, like, this Light Beam shade is... So that is everything, all my faves and my flops, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. I'm not sure when that's going to be yet, as I think when you are watching this, I am currently on holiday, so I will be back. Do leave in the comments below what your favorite makeup products are, because as you know, I always like to read those and see what you're loving so I can like do some shopping myself and get recommendations. But don't forget to like and subscribe if you do want to see more from me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.